Greetings, friends. It's Pat back with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. And I decided that this evening we would talk about the topic of river cruises and some of the options that are out there. People get confused. People think that there's one particular brand. They call me and they ask for, I want to take a Viking river cruise because they don't know there are other options. Nothing wrong with Viking, but there are other options. Tonight, if you are interested in a river cruise, intrigued by the idea, don't know if you'd like a river cruise, this would be a time to stay tuned because I'm going to talk about the various options that are out there for you to take a river cruise, the why, the who, the when, the where, all of those glaring questions that you want answered as you're making a decision about whether a river cruise might be a good option for you when exploring Europe or some other areas of the world. So I'm going to be covering all of that tonight and going over several different options of my favorite brands in the river cruise industry. And let's just start this evening. By the way, if you're watching live, you're going to want to stay tuned because I'm giving away one of my favorite travel accessories. We're going to have our usual drawing this evening for live listeners only. So you will want to make sure you stay tuned to the end to get your name in that drawing. So what exactly is a river cruise anyway? Well, the name kind of says it all, but it doesn't explain all that much. It's a vessel that's traveling on a river. It's getting you into areas where you couldn't necessarily go if you were to take an ocean cruise. And when you compare an ocean cruise and a river cruise, it is, folks, it's like talking about uh, apples and watermelons. It's so totally different experience. So if you think you're a non-cruiser, you may well be a river cruiser because they are very different. Your river cruises takes you to destinations that you couldn't normally get to if you were on a large vessel. They're on waterways, small waterways, doing the inland parts of countries. So you can get to these cities and villages, out of the way places. One of the things I love about the river cruise is not only do you visit the huge cities, those iconic European cities, Asian cities, and the cruises do go to all the different rivers, and if it's navigable water, there's chances are there is a river cruise taking you there, whether it be the Amazon River, the Danube River, the rivers in Asia, the Nile River. Uh, so many different options, and river cruising can take you to all of those. And it has one of the things that is so good about river cruising also, when we get to the why on a river cruise, not only do you have the small vessel, great for those who might have motion issues and worry about sailing on an ocean because you don't have the same kind of issues. You have calm, still waters as you travel the rivers of our continents. Um, and the river cruises, they are so inclusive. One of the great things about a river cruise is that it offers so much that is included. Oh, my phone's ringing in the other room. Of course it is. So many different inclusions that are offered. Not only do you have your dining, but you have at least with dinner, you'll have your wines and beers. Many offer if they don't include all of your beverages, they will include at least some at dinner or at lunch, and many of them also offer a happy hour. So lots of inclusions there. All virtually do offer excursions in every port of call. Some offer more options than others. Some have uh, excursions that are optional that you would pay extra for. Some include all of their excursions. So there are some differences there, but regardless, they are all great value because so much is included. And it's quite possible, and I have done this a couple of times, to get off a river cruise and actually owe not a single dime for extras when you disembark because it's that inclusive. Now, who should consider a river cruise? Now, while some are family friendly, there are a couple of options that do make themselves available for families. I just don't think for most families, and again, you can't make a blanket statement, but I do think that for most people, you're better off when you're sailing as a couple on these. There are a couple of options for families, but for the most part, I'm talking about people who are traveling solo or as couples. Many, most actually, do have options for solo travelers. They're the smaller rooms, they're on the lower decks. But if you're a solo traveler and want to avoid a single supplement, you will need to book these early because they sell out quickly. But great options for solo travelers who don't want to have to pay a single supplement, because several of these do have accommodations that are available just for the solo traveler. So very good. Great for couples, empty nesters, people who are motion sensitive. You just don't like the experience of a major large ship cruise. You've tried it. It's just not your thing. River cruises are a totally different kind of experience. And I think that pretty much most anybody would find a river cruise experience to their liking. Also, uh, let's just be frank, folks, it is not a cheap vacation. So if you're considering a river cruise, you might need to save up for a couple of years if you're a budget traveler in order to have the experience, because they are not exactly the cheapest vacation. However, they perform on the value, major value, with so much that's included and the exquisite experience that they provide. It is definitely worthwhile. Save up your bucks for a couple of years so you can have that experience, because the value, it is definitely worth every penny that you pay for the river cruise. So I think I've covered now the what, the who, the why. Where? Well, as I've said, the rivers cover most every navigable uh, river out there, from the Mississippi here in the U.S., the Snake River, the Columbia River, some of the rivers on the East Coast as well. Numbers of different options here domestically. But the biggest market, of course, for the river cruises is in Europe. And I highly recommend, if you have not yet done a river cruise, I highly recommend the Danube as a great starter. I just think the itineraries are so exquisite on the Danube River, and you visit not only the iconic cities like Vienna, Budapest, but you also hit so many charming small villages that likely you would never even discover on your own if you were doing something with an escorted trip or a major cruise or anything. You just wouldn't get to these places. So highly recommend. I just think the Danube is a great starter cruise for the river cruise market. It was my first river cruise. It absolutely blew my mind, and I would highly recommend that to anyone who is considering doing their first river cruise. The Rhine is also a good possibility, and you have I just did the south of France back in the fall, and I'm doing the tulips next month. I can hardly wait. I'm doing that with Avalon. So many options, but I think the Danube is absolutely a great starter for anyone. So now we get to the various options that are out there. Now, everyone knows about Viking. And people call me up and they say, I want to take a Viking river cruise. Well, then my next question is there a specific reason why you have settled on Viking for your provider? Well, I want a river cruise. So they think it is that one provider is the synonymous with river cruising, and to an extent they are, but they also offer fabulous ocean going cruises. As far as their river cruises go, people are surprised to learn that's kind of the entry level in the market. And the differences between the brands and on the river cruises, there are several different things that set brands apart. And one of those is the number of people that a particular provider puts on their vessels. Now, folks, all of the river cruise vessels, with just one exception, and I won't go into that now, it's not necessary, but the river vessels have to be of a certain size because there are locks on the rivers. They have to get through these locks. So they are limited in the size that they can be in order to get through those locks. So Viking will put about 190 passengers on their river cruise vessels, and it makes for a little more of a crowded experience on board the vessels. Your rooms are going to be smaller, some with some significantly smaller, because other providers such as AMA and Avalon, you're looking at about 160 passengers on that same size vessel. So that 30 passengers, that's 15 rooms that you can give everybody a little more room, and it has much with fewer people. Your public areas are going to seem far less congested, and you have just a little more, a skosh more elbow room on those vessels with Avalon and Ama. Uh, Move up to what I call the luxury level vessels. This would be providers like Tauck and Uniworld, and you have about 130 passengers on board their river cruise vessels. So they have 60 fewer passengers on theirs. That's 30 less rooms. You can just imagine what that does to the space for each passenger on board. You have much more space in your rooms. Your rooms are more spacious, and fewer people in your public areas to share that space. So a lot more elbow room, less crowding at dinner time, and so forth. So that's just a little primer on the some of the differences on the just generally speaking between the brands with the river cruise companies. So what are the options? I've touched on Viking. Now, first, folks, if Viking, if you have a limited budget, it is a great choice. It's going to take you to pretty much the same itineraries at a very affordable, as a river cruise market goes, at a very affordable price point. And honestly, people, you really cannot book a bad river cruise. That's the encouraging thing, because every single river cruise is a good product. There's not a bad one really in the bunch. Some are just more expensive and give you a little more breathing room than others. I want to talk though this evening, just go over briefly some of our go-to brands. Yes, we book Viking, and there's nothing wrong with Viking. It's good. I've just told you a little bit about them. But one of our go-to brands in the market is the AMA Waterways. And they have some great things that set them apart. They have different levels of cruising, as far as they have excursions that are geared toward uh, various activity levels. If, like me, your more active days are behind you and you are more into a quieter walking tour, they have tours that are geared toward your activity level. They have very active, they have bikes on board, they have hiking and biking for people who want to be more active, and are up for that sort of thing. They have discovery type uh, experiences for people who want to delve deeper into the culture, and then they have more just your more sedate, easy walking type tours that are more geared toward me. Well, when I was on my experience recently on AMA, by the way, they have beautiful, beautiful, well-appointed staterooms. This is one of their balcony staterooms here, beautifully appointed, lovely rooms. I found our bathroom was we did have the balcony, and I did find that our bathroom was very well appointed. It was much more spacious than I had expected. Uh, Finishes were beautiful. And we really enjoyed that AMA experience. There was something to do for everyone. It was a great experience. The ships are absolutely lovely on board. They have wonderful gathering spots and beautiful dining. Uh, and every day they'll have some kind of entertainment going on as well. Just a lovely cruise experience on board with AMA Waterways. Um, and they have great itineraries. This is an image from our recent exploration in France. This is Lyon. It happened to be one of my favorites. We started with an overnight there. The ship actually served as your hotel during that evening, and you could come and go throughout the evening and explore on your own. Most people came back in time for dinner and stayed on board after dinner, but you're free to go all evening long if you want to go into the city. But we did a wonderful tour there. Just really loved the city of Lyon. It was absolutely charming. Can't say how much I enjoyed that lovely city. This happens to be a picture of my business development manager on one of her cruises there. And this is Diane, and we love her. She is just great. But this is just an image from her on one of her cruises. She's been a guest with me on several occasions on Let's Talk Travel. But AMA just offers a great cruise experience for all different levels. This is from Avignon, which was another absolutely beautiful stop. Just love that city and so many different experiences and tours to choose from in each town. I'm sure that we had at least 3 different tour experiences to choose from in every single stop, every port of call that we had multiple chances to do something that was in line with our particular interests and activity level. So, uh, AMA, one of our great partners in the industry, great choice for you if you want if you're an active kind of person or if you're more sedate like I am these days. They have options for everyone. Now, our other partner that we have in what I call our mid-range level of providers, we love Avalon Cruise Lines. Now, this is an image of one of their staterooms, and they have a beautiful, beautiful product. They are part of the Globus family of brands, so highly renowned in the industry. They know tours, and they have put their tours on board cruise ships for this. So you have your really I think that in so many ways, your river cruise experience is very much like having a floating boutique resort that's just carrying you to a new destination every evening. You wake up in a new, fresh place each day. And folks, as far as scenery goes, you pass through some absolutely amazing scenery. Here's one of the Avalon's itineraries. This would be for uh, showing you something for the Danube. Again, one of my absolute favorite itineraries on the river cruise. I would do this one again in a heartbeat. But Budapest, just a charming, charming city. You cannot beat Budapest for just falling in love. Bratislava, Vienna, and then you have these small cities, Linz, Melk, Dürnstein. Oh, it was that was a lovely one when I did my Danube cruise. So you visit all of these wonderful ports of call, and this is some pictures and a little bit of the Rhine itinerary. And here is another one that's showing you more of the Danube as you go through the Wachau Valley there. Just the scenery is breathtaking as you transport through that valley. Take it from me, you will have lifetime memories. I can close my eyes and just visualize it as I think back on that experience. Now, Avalon has, again, you are going to get, with Avalon, you're going to get all of your meals, you're going to get beautiful accommodations, and they offer wine and beer with lunch and dinner. And you're going to have very inclusive options for doing your excursions as well. So those are kind of what I call our mid-range providers, Avalon and Ama. Great, great providers. Now, I want to talk a little bit about one of our upscale providers, and this is with Talk River Cruises. And Talk is really a five-star provider. This is a picture I took while we were sailing in the Danube. I took this right about the time that the pandemic was finally letting up and we were able to go again. Um, what do I love about Talk? First of all, Talk is absolutely all inclusive. You are really going to be hard pressed to spend an extra dime if you go with booking a Talk tour. It is five-star all the way. Personal attention, every detail looked after, fabulous excursions, and you'll have choices. Pretty much every single excursion. There's no optional excursions at extra charges with Talk. You choose what you want, and whatever it is, you're included. The only extras you can think of to do, I mean, fine wines, regional wines, anything um, that you come up with. They have an incredible wine selection of wines you just can't get here in the U.S. that are produced in small, uh, just small batches and by these local wineries, the exquisite products. And Talc actually has many of those right on board their vessels, and it's included with your cruise. Um, just amazing excursions. And what I love about Talc is they include so many things. I'm just showing a few pictures here that I took during our river cruise as I came down. These are a little hazy. My camera wasn't the best, but these are images that I took during our cruise as we came down the Danube aboard Talk. Absolutely just amazing. Now, what I love about Talk, this was an experience. If you like things, if you like surprises and unexpected extras, Talk is an amazing provider because as you come to your new destinations, frequently there are going to be little extra things that happen that you don't experience. It could be a concert in Budapest, for example, with Talk during our city tour. We didn't know this was going to happen, but they seated us on the central stairway, and we had a concert that just happened there at the Budapest Opera House. It was amazing. And we knew we were going to have dinner at a palace in Vienna during our cruise, but we didn't know all of the extra things that they were going to include, all of the incredible entertainment that was going to the performances that happened at that dinner, which was, folks, it was exquisite. It was unforgettable. Just the service and the experience that you're in this royal palace and you're having dinner with these gold filigree ceilings. I mean, you just can't duplicate that anywhere. And TOC is famous for providing these added extras that you don't expect. Food on TOC, exquisite as well. Just a couple of pictures of things that were served during our cruise. It's all prepared just for you. It is beautifully done, and love TOC. It is just an amazing experience. The tours are incredible and all included with them. I got off of that 7-night cruise. I did not owe an extra dime for anything. You can only really spend money on board if you want to purchase something in the gift shop or have your hair or nails done or something like that. It's very hard to find something extra to purchase when you travel with TOC. Now, our final provider that I want to cover with you tonight is Uniworld. Now, Uniworld and TOC are kind of in the same ballpark, about 130 passengers, exquisite ships. The difference between them, TOC is a very consistent product. Their vessels are all the same. They have an almost Scandinavian minimalist look. They are very sleek, very contemporary looking. Accommodations are beautifully appointed, but you can expect the same thing. You know what you're going to get. With Uniworld, every vessel is different, kind of regionally inspired. Every stateroom on the vessel is different. They don't have any, it's not homogenous at all. Everything is different. Everything is it's lovely, but it's a matter of taste. Some people find Uniworld just almost overwhelming, a little bit overdone. And some have a preference. They love that over the top decor. So kind of just a matter of personal taste. Uniworld offers amazing experiences on these beautifully appointed ships. They are just stunning, and they have a larger fleet than TOC, so you're going to find more itineraries with Uniworld than you do with TOC, which has a smaller fleet. But you're going to find just an exquisite experience on Uniworld. Again, very, very inclusive. There are a few things that you will pay extra with Uniworld. They do have some optional excursions that you would pay extra for. They do have transfers that you pay extra for your transfers with TOC. But again, very inclusive. All of your food, your beverages, all included on board the ship. This is a picture that our agent Kathy Ludeman took when she and Joanne were on a Uniworld Christmas Markets cruise just about, I think about 18 months ago now. And this is a few of the images that they took from that cruise. It was an incredible experience. They absolutely raved about their Uniworld experience. It's just an amazing, every detail thought out, and just incredible every step of the way. So just incredible options with the river cruise market. I just wanted to share with you some of those various options. I know I've covered a lot of cruise lines individually, but thought it was, if we could just do a brand comparison, just tell you a little bit about the differences between brands, that some of you who are considering this might find a little bit of guidance in which direction might be the best choice for your particular preferences when traveling. Now, Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much when you tune in. We love our regular listeners, and thank you for being here. I have a great prize tonight. I am giving away this great passport wallet. Now, folks, I have given this away before. I bought 2 of these for myself. I have used these on my last 3 trips for a couple of cruises. And when I was in Europe on our river cruise, I used this. I use this pretty much instead of my handbag all the way through. It has so many. You can put your passport, your cash. It has several different compartments. It has the RFID protection for your credit cards and things, but all kinds of slots, very roomy places for a few coins, your keys, whatever you need. I found this. This is my very favorite new travel accessory, and I'm using this one with a passion because it has rooms for my travel documents, my passport, everything I need in one very compact little document. So if you're watching live, listeners only, if you are watching live this evening and want to have your name in the drawing for this great travel passport wallet, I want you to just enter river cruising in the comment section right now as you're listening this evening, and we will be giving one of these away to one of our live listeners. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next week, this is Pat with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. Bye for now.